we launched the token over 6 months ago. NeuralAI is basically an AI toolkit for game developers to create their own virtual worlds. I think that's another key point where NeuralAI can really help with the Web3 space is by speeding up the game development process.
Get to like 6 months, that's a huge win, which it's hard to be quantified in money. You know?
Exactly.
When you play a game for like 6 months straight, you become this character, you have those ads in the game, and then the fucking server wipes out everything like boom.
Exactly.
I'm just waiting for aliens, and I do believe by the time I will die, I will witness aliens, real aliens. I hope so. What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in into OneLink podcast. Here in Dubai, we are with our friend and client at OneLink Solutions, Chris. He's the founder of NeuralAI, father of 4 kids, 3 already spawned, 1 is on the way.
Spawned.
And the husband to his beautiful wife, and the founder of NeuralAI, which is one of the hottest crypto AI gaming startups currently in the space. I'm excited to have you on the podcast. First of all, tell everybody about what NeuralAI is, and then maybe you can tell us a little bit about how did you come up with this idea.
NeuralAI is basically an AI toolkit for game developers and creatives to create their own virtual worlds in 3D in a seamless and way quicker way than what is possible right now. What I mean by that is, so we started off with basically our first feature, which was a 3D asset generator. So you could just go, just like with Midjourney and other, AI image generators, you can go and, input your text prompt, also a reference image. And then basically we would create a 3D asset for you that looks like this, that can then be immediately, put into a game. Yep. It's a drag and drop system basically. Or not just games, but also like virtual production. So if you guys would ever do anything that's in a virtual world, we could create all the assets and all the objects for it directly with our AI.
So with that tool, you're building actually the foundation for future generations to speed up the things,
Exactly.
right?
So that's our first feature, but we since then, we launched the token over 6 months ago, and obviously way before that we already worked on it. So it's definitely almost a year in the making. So our first feature was that, but then we also added, a lot of different features that especially game developers can make a lot of use of, like a material generator, which generates, textures on the objects for you. It's seamless. Then we're also adding a lot of other things. One thing that is not released yet, that we call the level builder, which is basically you go from explaining how you want a level to look like. Like that.
She wants to be in a podcast too.
Yeah. You go from that to and also drawing basically with our AI. Drawing a little bit of a sketch of the map that you envision, which is very simple, like really just a few brush strokes of drawing, and our AI out of that very sketchy thing actually creates a map for you. So you get the map, you get for example, Unreal Engine, which is a game engine.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have a plugin in there where you can do this, you draw this, and it creates the level for you.
Okay, so it seems to me that you identified the problem, which is, just takes lots of human hours and resources and time to render and design 3D assets by traditional artists.
Yeah.
So then you saw a gap in the market there, and you said look, let me create a product that leverages the AI technology and that serves as an infrastructure point for the gaming companies, gaming studios. But not only that, but let's also focus on the crypto niche, right?
Exactly. For us, what you said is basically the first step.
Okay.
We have another step afterwards, which we kind of see as moving towards this Ready Player One world. In a way, you don't even need those game artists and game developers anymore, because we see it as being dynamically created based on the users.
I see. Like creating this, how do you call it? Unified intelligence that will act as that will generate based on the user experience the assets in the game constantly.
Yes.
I see what you mean. For those of you that don't know, Ready Player One is one of the craziest movies I ever seen.
Yeah.
Dystopian movie, I would say.
Kind of.
It's one of my favorites, honestly, because it shows what's And I think in the next 10 years, we are getting to that reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
100%.
it shows like a glimpse of the future and what things could turn out to be if we don't make sure that we take control over how much time we spend and allocate towards these new technologies.
True, very true. I think the same. So I see definitely that this is going to happen. The technology, I would even say in the next 5 years, is going to be there to have this Ready Player One experience. But what I also think is important that we as a human species make sure to self-regulate, because this can spiral out of control very quickly.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's going to happen. So we need
I remember the first time I bought like a VR, put on my head. After 2 hours, I was like, where I am, that was an experience. Like, holy shit, I was in another dimension. I was like in different game, like texture, but you don't
Your mind
understand
doesn't
why
understand, yeah.
that happened.
But have you seen the latest release from Meta?
The glasses.
Yes.
I saw it. It's crazy.
This is why I'm thinking we're definitely on the right track. A lot of people are still laughing about VR in general, and they're like, this is not, no adoption or whatever. But I think this is wrong. I think this is a misunderstood technology that simply didn't find the market fit yet, in a way, in terms of how the product is designed. So I think now with Meta coming out with these glasses, this is going to drive adoption way more.
But it's not VR. It's called AR.
Well, it's AR, but it can also be VR almost. So
No way.
yeah. So
No
I think,
way.
Yeah, this is what's going to
In
happen.
glasses VR, how that is possible.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be fucking exciting. So I see this as a huge next step for us. I mean, AR, it being AR alone is already a huge step.
Just to zoom out a little bit and focus back on your product, which is NeuralAI, your company, which is NeuralAI, where do you see guys bringing value to other companies, and who is your target client base?
Right now, as I said, our main clients are game developers. So it could be indie developers, it could be small studios, but we're also working towards a lot of enterprise solutions that cater towards the really big studios, which basically comes with, extreme customization.
Yeah.
So we have our base AI models that are generating stuff for users. Then we will have a certain layer of, themes that you can basically use privately for your small game studio. But for the bigger studios, they obviously want full artistic control. We're building a pipeline that lets them feed us, concept art that they made for this specific game, or any kind of, renders that they already have. And our pipeline automatically builds their own customized model for them, which basically has a very high chance of outputting the right themes.
So it's a plug-in and play solution, which is also customized.
Yeah.
And I guess the value here would be that you basically save them lots of money in hours of artist development for the assets. And what else?
There's two factors, speed and cost.
Yeah.
In game development, both are a huge issue.
Of course.
So let's take, for example, GTA 6. I don't know, they started building it 8 years ago or something?
Yeah, 8 or 10 years ago.
So you can already kind of guess how much money went into, creating the assets in it. It's going to probably have millions of custom assets.
Yeah.
Which means millions of assets most likely cost them, definitely 50 million.
If I don't lie, it is like $1 billion or $2 billion they already invested in this game. I saw a reel about that.
Possibly. Yes,
Well,
it's probably the most expensive game ever made.
Ever made, plus it's much more expensive than like 3 main movies on the planet right now.
Yes.
So to build the game, it's
So I would say at minimum they spend 50 to 100 million for just creating the assets, texturing them, animating. Just this part costing 50 to 100 million. With our technology, maybe not right now. I don't want to overstate our technology because there's definitely still a few steps we have to go.
Yeah.
But let's say we keep going like this, in half a year from now, latest, we would definitely be able to save them 80, 90% of the cost. That's huge.
It's not even about the money, okay? It's about the money, but it's the speed. Like you'll actually save them much more money than that, because the faster they publish the game, the more money they can make, the faster the business grows. So if you can reduce the time, because as we know, everybody knows this, I think we agree on this, is time is the most valuable currency, not the money. Time is the most valuable currency. So then if you can save them, let's say if a game will take 5 years to develop and you can save them get to 6 months, that's a huge win, which it's hard to be quantified in money,
Exactly. That's a huge part as well. Yeah. So, and it's also about, there's 3 stages, 3 kind of primary stages in game development, which is prototyping, pre-production, and production. Prototyping for a game like this, usually I would say at least takes 6 months. If you can utilize our technology already in prototyping, you can be so much more clear about your vision, because you basically, a level designer wouldn't have to do all the blockouts. They could just basically go in, and instead of what you call right now a blockout, I should explain that. So level designers in the original way of creating a game is you have a level designer that goes and there's a blockout. So he puts really just blocks on the level where he thinks things are going to be. That's what he's doing. And with our stuff, they could go and actually put the actual objects that they envision there without a lot of basically no extra work. It's just typing in a prompt and showing where it should be placed. That's it. So that makes also prototyping a lot more realistic, and it's it gives a way better feeling of where we're going.
If it's something I learned, with all the craziness that has happened with ChatGPT and OpenAI and everything, if it's something I learned about the AI technology is that it speeds up everything.
Yes.
Everything, from drafting documents to discoveries on the health sector, and things that you say, which is game development. I think it's one of the that is going to be impacted the most out of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that 25 years ago or 30 years ago, we barely had cell phones or internet, and we already advanced so much in a short period of time. But from now, it's actually where we escape velocity, and we're going to grow so.
It is a little bit scary, right? This type
I'm not scared, bro. Honestly, I'm super excited because for me, I live in such an interesting time where I'm seeing wars, I'm seeing COVID, I'm seeing earthquakes. It's so many things happening. I'm just waiting for aliens, and I do believe, but by the time I will die, I will witness aliens, real aliens. I hope so. You know what's very interesting? I'm analyzing everything you said because again, me and you, we had private conversation about your life, past, and everything as your experiences, and it's funny because it's always like this. You started NeuralAI when?
Well, we started beginning this year, basically.
Beginning of this year, okay. So when people see it from the surface, it's like the iceberg meme, They see only he's just getting started. But bro, this guy, first of all, has been involved in gaming for years, 10, 15 years, whatever, but is in different forms. And I guess, when you start your journey as an entrepreneur and decide, I'm going to build my own business, be my own entrepreneur, you start somewhere, but that doesn't mean you have to end up there. It's
you're transforming.
It's just a starting point. And as you go, you learn new things, you get more experience, you understand stuff better, and then you pivot to your real path. Because I would say most of the things that you did in the past, the business and everything, all play an important role in managing your current business and the success of NeuralAI.
Absolutely.
Your skills are stacking to each other. Boom, boom, boom.
Yes, you're building your skills, but through that, you're also building your confidence.
Yes.
You know what you want to do. You know where you want to go. You know that, okay, there could be issues like this and this and this.
Yeah.
But, you just keep going, basically.
I always like to compare and make this analogy. Our life is exactly like a video game. If you played any RPG game, it's exactly the same. You are born, you have level 1. You just go out there, level up. And the more you level up, the more you have access to what? New experiences, new dungeons, and so on.
But the thing is, you actually have to do it.
Yes, you have to do it. Exactly. That's my point. Even in games, if you just sit around and do nothing and just chat, you won't grow, right?
Yeah.
You won't learn new skills. You won't have access to new things. You won't do new quests in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the community. Community, very important in any game because you log in, you speak to people.
Yeah, it's network.
It's tool.
Network.
Network. We discuss about this. Your network is your network, right? So the other way. Yeah, no, it's the network is your network.
Yes, exactly. No, I think so too.
Games are such an interesting way, just such an simulation of real life, but like
Yeah.
in different way.
I think gaming in my early years kind of helped me a bit. You know, I got in a lot into the technical stuff. I was very curious about these things.
So what do you think about the future of crypto gaming? And why did you guys choose to build your company in Web3 and not in Web2?
We have pretty high hopes for Web3 gaming. Like I got into Web3 gaming or the concept of tokenizing in-game assets and stuff like that pretty early on in like early 2021. It was fascinating to me because I really loved the idea of, first of all, having smart contracts handle a lot of stuff automatically, but then also have these the NFTs and ownership of assets was for me really fascinating because, as I said, I come from this past of basically losing access to content that because of upgrades and stuff like that, and I really felt like a good connection to that because of this.
So you are talking about when you play a game for like 6 months straight, you become this character, you have those assets in the game, and then the fucking server wipes out everything, like boom.
Exactly.
And it's like, holy shit, I just lost 6 months of my life.
Exactly.
I guess it's a frustration which lots of people that are into gaming are feeling. And, if you ask me personally, for Web3 gaming to be sustainable and be something for the future, it has to solve a problem.
Yeah.
And the problem, it's clear, it's out there. Yeah. Everybody can see it. It's the centralization of power, because currently, there's only like a couple of publishers like Steam and a couple of others that own monopoly on everything, Epic Games and so on. They own monopoly on everything. So even if you're like a game developer and you build your own game, it can be the coolest game. If you don't work with them, you don't have audience, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So then, which means that they, by having monopoly, they will, impose high taxes, high commissions, everything else. So they pretty much, it's not your game. Like, you don't control the game, it's the publisher's game. So that's the first problem that the Web3 gaming is solving. Secondly, it's on the user side, because it's like, currently, if you're playing any Web2 game, you don't own shit. Like, they can just take it away from you, delete it. You cannot trade it freely. You don't own the assets, okay? So you can end up spending thousands of hours in a game only for them to just ban you like that, or only for them to just delete your assets.
Sure.
I guess Web3 solves this issue. How? Because it's giving the power back to the users, back to the gamers, as it's supposed to be. It's very similar to what's happening in DeFi sector, which is giving the power back to the people. Is your own money, you own it, you can transfer it wherever you want. But it's also about creating new paths for people and new life careers, if you ask me, because currently one of the biggest issues is you are a gamer, okay? But unless you play for a big esports team, you won't make shit. You won't make so much money. Or unless you are like a famous live streamer or anything. But with Web3 gaming, it actually gives opportunity for people that enjoy gaming and they want to do this for, a longer period of time and they want to make a career out of it, to play those games, become very skillful at them and earn assets and tokens in these games and then sell them for a living, to make a living. So I think it's beautiful. It's just opening up new paths, new future, for everybody. And it's taking away the power, which is centralized currently. And it's, diminishing the greed that's happening on the big corporations.
Because as a user, for example, I'm just paying for skins, for some superpowers to big corporations, but I'm not owning anything. I can't take money from it, and it's cool.
I feel like there's still a few things to solve there. It wasn't really 100%. It didn't really find this product market fit yet, in a way, because Web3 games are still struggling with attracting, actual gamers, all of them across the board, whether they have huge budgets or small budgets.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's simply because good games take time to develop.
Yes.
As we just talked about GTA 6. GTA 6 takes a long time. Obviously, it's a huge example, but also the, smaller quote unquote games, they also take 2-3 years, to develop. And especially if you're a new studio, it's very hard. Like you have a time of figuring out how the team works together. You don't really know the problem.
It's a time and resources thing, right? Like a manpower thing. Because if you think like the biggest games currently, the most known games that have the most users, they have huge teams and huge funding behind it.
Yeah.
So it's really up to those companies to come into the Web3 space and build a game that will be at the same scale, at the same level. Or you never know, you might get like a Pokemon Go type of thing, or like Axie Infinity, like it was last time. I was very successful, that just pops out of nowhere.
Look, there are some games that do this already very well in Web3. I think the most successful games, they kind of build the community through, story-driven questing that happens even before the game is out. So there's a lot of community building going on through this. And there were some examples recently of Web3 games doing pretty well, having good reviews and stuff like that. But yeah, for us, I think that's another key point where NeuralAI can really help with the Web3 space is by speeding up the game development process.
Yeah.
Because crypto is a fast-paced environment. So if you launch it or you raise money for a token now, and you build the game for 2 years or 3 years, the whole environment changed.
Yeah.
But regarding to, for example, the GTA 6, can it be the Web3 game with like crypto inside?
It will be. Sure.
It's
They will
GTA
integrate
Online.
crypto. From what I know, they will integrate crypto.
There's definitely some information that they're going to implement crypto payments in some way.
So you can buy own real estate in GTA Online.
Using crypto, everything. Yeah.
I don't
Wow.
know how it's going to work in terms of them tokenizing anything. I don't think that's actually part of it yet. It's more like a payment method thing only.
Yeah.
But I mean, eventually they could definitely do it. It's the technology is there.
Imagine like really GTA 6, but Web3 game
Yes.
when you own stuff.
The game studio behind GTA 6 doesn't have any incentive to make it a full Web3 game because then they will lose lots of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it takes away the centralization and the power. So
I mean, I think it depends on how you do it because, for example, Steam, if you take Steam as an example, they have a huge marketplace of items, right?
Yeah.
Which is obviously central to them. The Steam marketplace, especially for Counter-Strike skins, is huge volume. Like if you take that model, they make huge revenue. They make insane revenue.
yeah.
If you take that model, put it into a Web3 kind of format,
Through NFTs and
use it
everything.
for NFTs, the only risk you would have in comparison to that is basically that people find ways to avoid the marketplace fees. Otherwise, and obviously adoption, like, okay, you need to make it so seamless that any Web2 gamer can use it as well. That is basically what needs to happen. But other than that, there's no real issue with it. I think it would actually be probably cheaper for you to operate, technically. So I think it's not necessarily a loss for them.
So your token or project currently, which is NeuralAI, is considered an infrastructure project, which in my opinion is, would you agree with that? Is it an infrastructure
Yes.
project?
Yes.
Which in my opinion, and this is also for like new investors that are into this, jumping into this space, want to make, their first investment in crypto. I always advise them, well, first of all, nothing is financial advice, but if you were my friend and you ask me what to invest into crypto, I would say stay away from meme coins, first of all. And secondly, if you want a safe bet, go into ecosystem coins and infrastructure coins. Why? Because for them to fail, it's very hard. I'll give you an example. Ethereum, Solana, Avax, those are ecosystem coins, which means there's thousands of other companies and people working on this blockchain, building products and so on.
True.
For them to fail, it will mean that all the projects will have to fail at the same time, which is virtually impossible, right? It's like a network. And then secondly, when it comes to infrastructure projects, and I think Alex Becker mentions this as well in his videos, is you can't go wrong with infrastructure because at the end of the day, they are providing value to hundreds of other companies.
Exactly.
It's like selling the shovels in a sense.
Yeah. So
Good point.
that's true. Yes. We position ourselves as the toolkit that you would need to, speed up and make your game development insanely efficient, right?
Yeah.
And that's working very well. There's a lot of feedback from Web3 games. We have some collaborations already, and there's definitely way more coming.
I'm waiting for the big names though. I'm waiting for the big names. We discussed about this
Yes.
and it's in the works, but I'm waiting for the big names. One of the things I liked about you guys is that you have a token. You did it in a very, very clean way, which is like you launched the token, no pre-sales, no pre-seeds, no investments, no deals behind the table.
Yeah.
And because if you look at the neural chart, it's just beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, especially in the beginning, it just goes slowly up like this,
Yeah.
which you can only have when you have a fair launch. So, and this is the mistake that I see with most of the, because you understand that us at OneLink, we work with hundreds of crypto individuals and companies. We provide them infrastructure, we help them. So I speak with 3 to 5 project founders every single day. But the problem I see with all of them that have tokens, companies that have tokens, is that they go for the cash grab. They go for the quick money. They are excited to raise like 500K or 200K, giving away the tokens to like a VC or like an angel investor, which honestly, their main interest behind is just to make quick money.
Exactly.
And so because of that, the project fails before it started.
True.
That's one of the biggest issues.
Yeah, so we did this, the way we launched the token was very deliberate. We are in a landscape where a lot of AI tokens, go to VCs, they go to launch pads and they raise, 3-5 million. Then they have huge, fully diluted valuations. They launch at like 100 million valuation, but have, only like 5 million max actually circulating. And that usually doesn't work out, as you said. That's kind of like an instant failure.
Yeah.
In a way. For us, we didn't want to raise the money. We didn't want to, play into the hands of VCs in that sense. We wanted to build the community and, build it with them together and see where it goes, because if they don't want it and they basically reject it, then okay, maybe the idea was wrong.
I think when it comes to startups, there's a easy way and hard way of doing things, but obviously there's upsides and downsides to both of them.
Yeah.
The hard way is to bootstrap, to not take any money from the VC, to build the product first before raising any type of funds. But that's the hard way. And the reality is that not many people can do this because they don't have the experience. They lack the experience. Yeah. What I've noticed with most of the founders is that they get excited, they have this idea, they even are getting lucky and are doing a fundraise, whether that be through NFT or token sale, or they have some friends, VCs, they just get lucky, they raise some funds. But because they lack the knowledge and the experience when it comes to managing and actually building a business, managing teams, creating a product, go to market and everything else, they fail really fast.
Yes.
That's the easy part we are discussing about, which is like before anything, you just have an idea, you raise funds, you sell pre-sales, tokens, whatever. But then again, the project fails before it even gets started because
the world is changing.
The people that invest in an idea, like without having any substance behind it, they do it because of monetary gain. Yeah. They want to make a quick buck.
Yes.
So don't think you are fooling anybody when you are doing a fundraise with nothing of substance behind it.
Yeah.
Like, no, they're smart. They just want your money. They will tell you, that's why all they care about is the tokenomics.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Because I know into like tokenomics as well. It's like the first thing that VC and angel investors ask in this pre-seed round is like, what's the vesting schedule like?
Exactly.
Like if you don't have a good vesting schedule, that I'm not interested, which tells me that, okay, so you're not in it for the product, you're in it like you want to make a quick buck.
They're not in it for the tech.
Exactly. But this is where you guys like you and people like you have advantage, is because you take the hard path, you build a product before, you proof test it, you launch, you have a token with a fair launch, and it's a long-term game. It requires more resources, more stress, more time, but it pays well, and it differentiates yourself from 99% of other projects that are like this. Today is here, tomorrow is there, and that's it. Halas with the project.
True. That gave us longevity. It was definitely harder at the start, and it's still, we're still facing our challenges because of it. I mean, right now we have almost 10,000 holders.
Organic.
Yes, organic holders. We grew very, very nicely over the last 6 months. And I just feel like there's a huge understanding in the community of where we want to go, what our ideas are. Every week we have weekly spaces on Twitter where we inform the community. We talk to the community about progress, what's happening, new releases, upcoming stuff. And every day, basically, we have an update on our Twitter page. Definitely every day. We have something that is being posted there to inform people about certain things. So we focus very hard on community building.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, for the first 2 months after our launch, as you said, our chart looked like it's kind of like a staircase.
Yeah.
Slowly grinding up. And because of that, we got people asking, even our KOLs, our influencers that worked with us, they came to me and they said, dude, like, are you doing market making? What's your secret?
What's your strategy?
Yeah, what are you doing? I said, no, we do nothing. The thing,
Just amazing product.
yeah, I guess,
It's so interesting because they are so used to pump and dump schemes
exactly.
and giving to shady advisor that will dump the price instantly, that when they see an actual how the project should be and the token that is properly done, they're like, wow, how you do it?
How are you doing it? And we're like, well, we just work with the community,
Yeah.
we launched our first version of the product 2 days after the token launch. So that was a big, we did that on purpose, we built up a bit of hype. So that kept us going at the start. And it showed confidence that we can actually pull off what we want to do.
You did something very smart. You reverse what everybody else is doing, which is you build a product first, you show that it's capable, you show commitment, you build a community, which if you ask me, community is like the engine of the company, especially in crypto. If you don't have a community, you don't have anything.
Yes.
Because the community is like your marketing team in a sense. They vouch for you, they go out there, they help you promote your company for free.
Yes.
So I think you did a great job, honestly, and you are one of the few projects out there, especially in AI gaming sector, that are actually legit, fully transparent. You come across like as a professional, you have your experience and everything. So I would really love people that are watching, that are interested in exploring opportunities and so on. Just do your own research. Just check out his project. I know him personally for some time now. I know what kind of person he is. I know his past experience. He's a very cool guy. And I know that he puts a lot of time and energy into his company and into his project. It's like his baby. It's like your fifth child, what I mean? Because you already have 4.
Yes.
So definitely check it out. I think for me personally, it ticks all the boxes when it comes to, credibility, fair launch for the token, transparency, everything. It's an infrastructure project again, which is like one of the safest bets currently. And not only that, your project is backed by some of the biggest KOLs in crypto.
True. Yes.
And that's for a reason, because people like Alex Becker, like Elliot Trades and the big boys, they're not stupid. But they won't associate their brand, because they're already rich, right? They won't associate their brand with any scam project or anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the fact that they are backing you and they keep mentioning you in every of their videos on Twitter posts, for me, that's already a win, you know what I mean? I understand, some of those KOLs, they have deals, whatever. But at the end of the day, you have to look at the success and the history of their calls as well and what they did.
Yeah.
And
True. What we always say to the community is, we're just getting started. And it is true. There's projects out there that have, a certain goal, and then when you reach it, it's basically over. But for us, every single thing we build is just another step or another piece of the puzzle towards reaching our bigger vision, which is, as I said, building this kind of Ready Player One experience.
Yeah. So give us the big vision. You said that you're always updating your community, right? In Twitter?
Yeah.
Which sources?
Twitter, Telegram.
Yeah. So what is your vision for the next 6 years, 10 years? Where are you going with your company?
Well, I think, in crypto, it's a bit hard to plan 10 years ahead. But I would say in the next 3 to 5 years, what we will see is we will achieve this. What I said before, basically what I see is happening is that without actually talking about it, we're kind of creating the foundation for the metaverse. The Ready Player One experience is kind of a metaverse for me personally, because you can be very creative. You can, own assets. You can do this and that. And it's all working flawlessly within a huge world. That for me is basically what we want to reach in the next. I'm pretty sure it's possible in the next 3 to 5 years, because we're making so many advancements on different levels. Like AI is accelerating itself, For example, OpenAI, Sam Altman, he just talked about this, where basically they are starting to use AI to train new AI.
It's a compounding effect,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
the
next AI can be 100x.
Yeah, and what we're doing now is something similar. We're working on AI agents that connect our different features in a seamless way that would be impossible with a simple system. So it would basically creating this world level builder that I talked about before. Like if you want to build a level just by an original prompt and maybe a sketch, there's several steps involved in that. And in order to connect those steps and, be really interactive and be smooth about it, you need AI agents that can, understand natural language from the human that's guiding them. And not just understand it, but also understand what to do with it in terms of what functions to call, what features to work with, and to access to achieve the goal of what the human is telling you. That's what we're building right now as well. So that's going to heavily impact our like efficiency. On top of that, something we didn't touch at all is that we just registered our first subnet on BitTensor.
Wow, that's crazy. I know how much money you paid. Feel free to tell our audience how much money you paid.
Yes,
but when I heard about it, I was like, man, first of all, do you get any tokens out of it, or can you sell it back if it's something happens,
Yeah, no, you basically, it's a registration fee of 600,000 at that point.
$600,000 just on a subnet that is like you just pay it and that's it, halas. Like you just pay.
Well, obviously we have expectations from it. But
yeah, of course. Yeah. But I mean, like anything goes wrong, it's like.
Sure. We have a good plan for it. It's basically a subnet that creates 3D assets.
Yeah.
So it's incentivizing miners to create 3D assets. We have a validation system that automatically checks the quality compared to our standards, which is great. And yeah, we just launched that actually yesterday. The first validators went live. So it's actually running now. And that's basically subnet number 1.
Okay.
And we have a subnet number 2 that we're already working on, which is the counterpart to this generative AI inference task, is what you call it when you create the asset. The counterpart is the training of the model that's creating the assets, right? So we built a second subnet that is using groundbreaking research in distributed training, which minimizes the loss rate. It's very technical, but loss rate is, measures, like basically, how much loss you have in terms of data and stuff like that. So minimizing the loss rate is super important in distributed systems when it comes to training. And there's lots of factors that impact it. Like you have, higher latency. If you have a server here in Dubai or you have a server in the US and you train different parts of the model, you need to communicate, there's a latency, right? Yeah. And with certain mechanics, you can basically minimize these issues. And that was preventing distributed training before. And just recently, there's a new paper that came out, and that should basically help us to achieve 300x compression or something like that.
Wow.
It's insane.
It's a huge leap.
Yes, it's a huge.
I feel like he is a godfather of metaverse, the foundation.
Well, he's a technical guy.
Yes. But anyway, so if we manage to pull it off in the next few weeks, which we hope we do, it would be groundbreaking. It would be the first 3D asset. First of all, it would be the first 3D model, AI model that's distributed, that's trained in a distributed way. And second of all, it would be the first 3D asset training subnet, So it's like two things that would attract a lot of attention.
Amazing. Two big headlines. I already see it in New York Times and in whatever coin.
Well, you could actually see it. It is. I'm I'm pretty humble guy usually, but this is something I definitely think is huge. And it's not just huge for us, but all the models that would be trained in that subnet would be open source. So that means everyone could benefit from this. I could create better 3D assets and stuff like that. Yeah.
I feel like you're excited to step into the future.
Yes, I am. I'm very excited. I'm excited to build the future.
I always find it cool when founders, especially in tech, they build these new technologies and they open source it. It's just something beautiful about having a good intention behind it and not coming from a scarcity mindset, where you just, I have this, I build this, it's just for me. I can only use it. I can only, benefit out of it.
Basically, we want to promote a world where gaming or creating worlds is not restricted to, bigger companies.
Yeah.
Or, paying a lot of money to get access to something. So we want to create a world where this Ready Player One experience can be created by anyone.
Yeah, you empower the users, the gamers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is only possible if you open source it. There's no other way.
It's like these words hits me differently when you say we want to create the world, and user can do it. Just type something from their brain, they can create.
So when we reach the point where we are actually creating this world seamlessly, also from a user perspective, and you basically kind of circumvent the game development part and just in this big world, you can start creating yourself, or it creates for you based on your preferences. At that point, like the way you create is not really through, typing. The way you create is might actually just be very subconscious,
Oh my God.
Might not even be speaking.
This is leading into goes hand in hand with what Elon Musk is building right now, which is the chip.
Neuralink.
Right? Neuralink.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Let me ask you this. Did Neuralink as a company which is owned by Elon Musk give you any inspiration to choose the name NeuralAI? Be honest.
Actually, no. But
Just coincidence.
yeah, it's a coincidence.
But it's a cool coincidence. Yeah.
Yes. No, but the
Big minds things the same.
I'm skeptical about that technology, I have to say. But
Really?
it's reading your thoughts is a pretty scary thing.
I mean, as long as you use it initially, I mean, it should be an opt-in, right? Nobody forces you to have this implant. And if you can cure like blindness and like paralysis and other things, then 100% is worth it.
Sure.
But remember
it always-
COVID.
It always starts with good intentions.
Ah,
It,
Yeah, it's scary a little bit, you know.
could turn out well. It could also turn out really bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to go into that.
I heard that theory about Teslas. You know that, for example, you're riding a Tesla and they can disable your Tesla in second
Yeah.
in any part of the world, but with a real agent, they can't do it because it's like real engine, you know. So that's why it's really scary, like thing to like put
Yeah.
something in your brain.
I mean, I think Elon has good intentions, but
think
it's a lot of people have good intentions. I mean, the atomic bomb was also created based on theories that had good intentions. Yeah.
let's see. I tell you what, I'm excited about the next couple of years, especially in crypto, especially with the bull run starting, or at least that's what people know. October, right?
October.
October.
Let's see where this goes. But
It's a bit not working right now.
I think it's October, November, and then something like Pumpsember or something.
ups and downs.
December.
Let's see.
Let's see. Let's see.
See how it goes.
Times.
I mean, it started bad, not perfect, let's say.
Yeah.
But I think I saw a statistic that almost every October so far started. The first day was bad.
I have faith. I have faith in the election. I hope that God wanted to keep Donald Trump alive for a reason. I hope it's not just to make fun of all of us, but also because he will win the election, which will have huge impacts on the crypto market, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know, he went to the Bitcoin crypto conference. He was saying that he will make Bitcoin the reserve currency, one of the reserve currencies of the US.
Wow.
It's crazy stuff,
Yeah.
which is so bullish. But because there's uncertainty right now when it comes to the election, I don't think people realize that, he has really good chances to win. In my opinion, that's not even factored yet in the price of Bitcoin. The moment we start seeing the first pre-pooled results or whatever we see, you know what I mean? Like the first expectations results, like official ones, and you see Trump leading, I think the market will jump.
Yeah, but remember that like everybody are curious what will happen with the country when the woman will rule. So it's still,
There's always a lot of uncertainty right now. It's like the election is coming up. There's wars.
this election is crazy.
There's lots of stuff that's
But isn't crypto and Bitcoin built for uncertainty? And isn't crypto benefiting from uncertainty? It's like a safe net, right? Because when craziness is happening and you have your money in the bank and, your country goes to war with another country, you cannot take your money out. You cannot transfer it across the board.
Yeah.
So crypto is a safe haven for those type of. So honestly, I don't really care about what's happening in the world. I mean, of course, unless there's like a world war or something, but it's like if things happen, crypto will ultimately benefit.
Yes.
Probably, yes. I mean, it will definitely benefit in terms of adoption.
Yeah. So Chris, I know you just moved to Dubai a couple of months ago, I think 1 or 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Tell us please what made this decision, because for people that are watching, he never came to Dubai before, not even once. He never stepped a foot in Dubai. He had no idea what to expect here. Maybe, just watching from the internet, but what made you take this decision?
What was the last point that you said like, no, that's it. I need to move.
Me and my wife, we were thinking about moving here for a few years already. We kind of we've been looking for a place to basically settle down for a long time, because we come from Europe. As you know, Europe has been really going downhill
Crazy.
last 10, 15 years. And it's just getting worse,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like on basically on all fronts, like freedom in general as a citizen. Then it's like taxation, but also security, safety.
Safety is
It's-
crazy.
Especially for me as a father, I think about that a lot because I'm like my oldest is getting into teenager years. It's gonna get crazy.
Yeah.
And like for me, safety in that sense is really important. And
course.
I just couldn't find it in Europe. It was kind of impossible. While it's pretty sad for me to see Europe go this way, I mean, for me personally, we had to make a decision. And so we basically said, okay, now, either now or never, basically.
Yeah.
Now or never.
And we took the leap of faith in a way.
And here we are now.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, it seems to me that Dubai ticked all the boxes for you as a family guy, as a crypto entrepreneur, and everything else, So first of all, the safety of this place, the fact that you can raise your children without having to worry if they go out at night or whatever. Secondly, you can get to enjoy zero personal and corporate tax and, zero capital gains tax. So you retain all the money that you make. You don't have to share half of the money. And here's the thing. I believe that giving money to the authorities is fine as long as they do something about it. I don't have something with taxes, right?
Yes.
As long as they use the taxes for your own good.
Yes.
But that's not the reality. Like Europe is living in a totally different reality. Anyway.
There is no Web3 in Europe.
Yeah.
It's like living in previous dimensions.
They're even restricting basically Meta, for example, when they launch an open source AI model, oftentimes they cannot launch it for European citizens.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell? Like,
so it ticked the box when it comes to the safety. It ticked the box when it comes to the taxation aspect. You passively make more money because you retain all of them, not paying 50% in taxes with corrupt governments. Thirdly, it's also a crypto hub.
Yes.
It's becoming more and more. Like I know at OneLink, like only us, we have every day at the Villa office, which we have project founders coming every single day.
Yeah.
New companies that we have, new individuals. So it just from our perspective, which obviously we don't have the whole market, right? We just work with, a couple of hundreds of them, but it's like so many people are moving to Dubai these days, especially from crypto. It's becoming more like a networking hub. Not to mention the crypto events that are happening. So we had in April Token 2049. We also have now a couple of events lined up. Like we have the Cardano events now in October. We have the Blockchain Life. There's RAK DAO, which is Ras Al Khaimah Digital Asset Oasis, the first crypto event done by a government entity, which is in Ras Al Khaimah, not in Dubai. But that's already it's getting mainstream.
Yeah.
So I guess another thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's also that the location of Dubai, right? It's very much centered.
Yes.
So it's close
to everything.
So you can travel to anywhere else in the world except like US, okay, and Australia. You can travel to anywhere quite easily, quite fast.
Airplanes are very comfortable.
Yeah, I think, look, there's a lot of, false impressions and kind of like bias against Dubai from Europeans, especially from Europe. Like I had the same thoughts about it as well before, like I looked into it more and I actually came here. Like my impression was always, okay, there's a lot of scammers going there. There's obviously, I don't know, like it just felt like everyone that I talked to told me, yeah, it's like, it's fake. Everything is fake in Dubai. I was like, okay, well, but I started to know more people like you that are living in Dubai and are telling me completely different things. So then I started looking into it more, and I realized like this is actually something that I think we can probably live in well,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's not perfect. No place is perfect, right? There's always something that you have to compromise on. In this case, I guess it's a bit of the weather, especially in summer.
It's the weather and the nature side of things,
Yes.
because it's desert, bro. Like
Yes.
40 years ago, there was nothing here. It was just dunes of desert.
Which is quite impressive.
Yeah.
Still, guys, like, let's be honest. When you work, you sit at home
Exactly.
near the computer.
Exactly.
You don't go outside.
Yes.
When you go outside, please travel, go to Europe,
Yeah.
enjoy the sun, enjoy
That's a very
everything.
good point. Actually, as an entrepreneur, and this is my personal experience of what I see other successful entrepreneurs doing, is they come to Dubai, they live here for like 6 months a year or a little bit more than that to get their tax residency, and they do sprints, which is they come here, they do business, they work, they focus on work, and then during summertime when the weather is bad here because it's very hot, gets very hot, they travel and they enjoy. So it's like sprints, they do sprints.
Yeah, but I have to say, I mean, I arrived like mid-August,
Yeah,
which is obviously very hot season.
yeah,
But I have to say, it was not
that bad.
as bad as I expected. And there's so much, you can do also inside in Dubai. It's not limiting you that much.
Of course, there's AC everywhere. There's convenience. Like nobody forces you to go outside at 2 p.m. during peak weather when it's 45 degrees, right?
I mean, look in Europe, like people also don't really go outside when it's heavy.
Of course.
Heavy
Exactly.
rain or like heavy rainy periods
Yeah.
in autumn.
Snow.
There's like a month where people don't go outside at all. Like it's I don't see it as that much of a difference. It's just a different time.
Exactly. Even in the US, I have many people coming from there and they're like, we have the same type of weather in the US, like especially in the Texas side. Texas is exactly the same, only maybe the humidity is a little bit different, but it's still the same.
I mean, I used to live in Marbella for a few years in Spain. It was a little bit less hot, I guess.
Yeah.
But in general,
There's a lot of distractions there, to be
Yeah.
honest, right?
There's-
Here you are performing every single day.
the thing here is you come here and you like everything. If you want, everything is taken care of.
Yeah.
Everything. Like you can rely on people actually doing what they say that they're doing.
Yeah.
They're performing what they're supposed to do. Like we basically the way we set up our lives is very dependent on some people helping us.
Yeah.
Like we need a maid for certain things. We need other people to help us with other things.
Yeah.
Because then I can focus on
Important
pushing the
stuff.
business.
Of course, your time is worth money and it's valuable because you're an entrepreneur. Like, and this is what I love about Dubai is that it's built around convenience. So people that are smart, they come here, they make money and they don't have to worry about cooking or cleaning and whatever.
Exactly.
Or ordering food, you know what I mean? Like literally you can get access to anything you want, whether that be food, drinks, anything in like a matter of minutes, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Man, they
The
even
tap of
come.
your
They,
finger.
they even come and they wash your car outside.
Exactly.
Or they even give you gas. They put gas into your car.
Yes. It's crazy.
So it's beautiful, but you can only have this when you have big buying power, first of all,
Yeah.
huge buying power, which is the case here. And secondly, when you have motivated, driven individuals
Yeah.
that are coming here to make money, So I guess that's the separation. But
When you came first time in Dubai, what was your first impression over it? Because Steph said that you was first time in Dubai without like traveling here for a vacation.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first impression was huge, as I said, like I lived in Marbella, I lived in other smaller cities in Europe. I've never lived in a huge city.
yeah,
Really?
No, never.
Wow.
So for me, it was like, damn, yeah.
big city vibes,
big
New York
city vibe.
You can breathe here, right? It's like a lot of things is going.
But still, like it was not like in Europe, the big cities we visited. It always felt a bit like
Overcrowded.
crowded, dirty, very like crammed together in a way. And here everything looks really fresh, like very spacious, very, I don't know, just different, very clean.
The entertainment and diversity of entertainment is just crazy. It's on another level. Like you can literally, and I don't think there's any other place in the world that you can do those things. So you can do skydiving, scuba diving, jet skiing. You can go in the desert. You can jump from whatever. There's so many activities you can do here. It's
In
hard
one
to get
place.
bored. Like I come from Romania, right? I come from a northern city. It's the third, fourth largest ones in Romania. When I was there, like the only thing I could recall doing, because I'm not a club guy, I don't go to like parties and so on, but the only thing I can recall doing when it comes to like, chilling was like just going to the cinema. That's it. There was no activities.
Escaping from real life.
Yeah, just going to the gym, working, and sometimes going to the cinema. That was it.
That's it.
But because there's nothing to do there,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's the case with most of the other places.
Yeah. One of the first things we did was go to SeaWorld with the kids.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask you about your kids because I can't even imagine what's happening in their brain.
Yeah, they are completely blown away.
Yeah, right.
And they're very fascinated. They have And the thing is, like here, we could set up a lot of stuff immediately, like activities for them. The girls like to do horse riding, tennis, stuff like that. Boys joining a football club, and
Yeah, and these emotions you can't buy.
yeah, and like the quality of service you get there as well is huge.
Yeah.
we joined a really good equestrian. It's insane high level, and it's the thing is, people always think Dubai is so much more expensive than anything else.
No,
But
it's not.
coming from Marbella,
Yeah.
I can tell you, Marbella is more expensive than Dubai in most cases. It's at least a 20% difference. Like even the equestrian in Marbella, we paid almost double to what we pay now.
And you are comparing it to European countries, but let's not talk about UK or US.
Yeah.
Like I have many people from US coming here like, man, this is very cheap. The food is great, it's amazing. They don't put me all the chemicals in the food.
Yeah.
Like people, when they serve you and they bring you delivery of the food, they don't expect you to tip them. They're always humble. They're always like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? And we had
Even-
the other day we had here Soul Big Brain, his real name Brian, which is one of the biggest investors in Solana.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, it was his first time in Dubai, and he was blown away by the infrastructure, by the quality of service, by everything here. And he's coming from US. And keep in mind, he's living in Miami, right?
Yeah.
Which is like very similar vibes with Dubai. At least people compare it with Dubai.
Yeah.
But Dubai changed a lot in the last 10 years. It's now more like a lot of people from all around the world are mixed here, and it feels different.
Yeah.
There's so much prejudice against Dubai. Like especially, they're like, everyone is Muslim here. You have this kind of like religious.
Bro, people don't understand. 90% of the people that live here are expats, which means they're not Muslims. Then the 10% that are Muslims in their own communities, they respect the tourists and they are very kind to them because, they understand that without tourists, they won't be where they are and they won't live the convenient lifestyle that they live.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you a crazy story, okay? One friend of mine came to Dubai. He rented a supercar. He went in the desert, as everybody else is doing. And he got stuck in the sand, okay?
Yeah.
There was a local guy coming with their Toyota Highlander, because it's like a common car here. He stopped. He helped pull out his supercar from the dust. And my friend, because he's coming from Europe, he was like, thank you so much for helping me. Let me pay you. And the local guy was like, what do you mean pay me? Like, I pay you. You come in my country, I pay you. I give you money. You don't give me money. So that's the mentality that you're dealing with. And I guess it's exactly the opposite as the Western world is trying to portray Middle East. Look, you have to understand, guys. Western world is trying to portray Middle East in like a certain way, and China as well, because they are scared of it. They are shit scared of it. Like, they understand that this country is developing and is evolving so much, is attracting so much talent, so much investment, that they are scared and they have to manipulate the masses by telling them otherwise.
Look, it's similar. If you think about it, it's kind of similar to how they talk about Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin in the early stages, they were just basically saying, okay, Bitcoin is just a scam.
It's a scam.
Then they were saying, okay, Bitcoin is only used by scammers and criminals. And then they started to kind of like, okay, well, maybe there's also some normal people using it, but it's still shit. It has no value, blah, blah. And it's very similar to how they portray Dubai or the
Middle East.
UAE.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been here for 1.5 months. My experience is completely different. I'm actually shocked how different it is compared to how it's portrayed.
Yeah.
It's basically completely the opposite. And what you said before, like I remember the first time we ordered food and the delivery guy came and I wanted to give him a tip. It was like, I don't know, for me, it was not that much, but it was like 50 AED, like, which is like 10, 12 euros or something. Yeah. I wanted to give him a tip and he was like, no, I cannot take that.
It's too much.
He's like, no. And I was like, well, what do you mean?
Take it.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
It's super hot outside. I wanted to give him like a tip.
Those people are working so hard, and I saw some unfortunate statistics, which is something like only 10% of the deliveries actually receive tips in Dubai.
Yeah.
Which is mind blowing.
They're crazy.
Like, bro, if you don't have 10 dirhams, which is $2, $3 to order food, to give it tips to a guy that is bringing your food in 45 degrees Celsius, bro, just cook at home. Don't order. You're broke. Like, really. You don't deserve to eat food in order food. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, fuck's sake.
I like what you're doing. You know, I was sitting and Steph is like, "Do you want water?" And he gives them water.
I always give them water.
Yes. Yes.
I'm at least water, you know,
Yeah.
but always when I order anything, I always add like 10, 15 dirham, 20 dirham tips, minimum. It's just, you know, just kindness thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're making the minimum wage.
But it's not like in United States right now, right? The
Bro,
tips
United
industry
States,
is
they're so
crazy.
entitled. I see some videos on Twitter. Maybe it's also amplified.
They're entitled.
Bro, they are so fucking entitled. Like
Yes.
they do delivery, and if you give them $5 or $10 only as a tips, they swear, they get angry. They're like, "Oh, hey, why order food if you can give me more tips?" It's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Compared to this side of the world, where like those Indians and Pakistan and Filipinos guys, they're like, "Yes, sir, thank you, sir. I'm sorry, sir." Like the first time I ordered, I remember, bro, he was like 5 minutes late, you know, compared to what was estimate, and he was like, "Sorry, I'm so sorry. I apologize." You know,
Yeah, that's another
like,
thing.
dude, chill. You're just 5 minutes late. It's okay. It's fine. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, where we lived before, they would like 5 minutes is nothing, you know?
Yeah.
Actually, we used to even with Uber, for example, we used to get constantly canceled on. Like we had to order an Uber 30 minutes before we
because
actually.
the trip was too short.
Because
The trip
yeah,
was too short.
like,
I don't go for 10 euros.
we
Like,
got
fuck
canceled
you.
constantly.
Like, it's you're a taxi man. If I enter your car, you have to take me 5 meters if I want.
Guys,
Yeah.
like
You know what I
Europe and Dubai just play different games completely.
The funny thing is, like, one thing is also, there's lots of like Indians and Pakistanis. I mean, I guess true in Dubai, there's quite a lot of them.
Yeah.
But like when I left the airport here in Dubai and basically looked at people outside or in the malls, well, it's definitely a mix, you know, of people, but it definitely feels like there's a lot of Europeans, a lot of
100%.
Americans here.
Yeah.
I would even say that if you go to London, for example, you probably see more Indians and Pakistanis than here.
That's right,
you know, which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
But it feels way more Indian in London than here.
But they're minding their own business. They're not aggressive. They mind their own business. They're hard workers, and they are like the donkeys. Like they do the hard work, the donkey work. You know.
That's another thing. There's a very clear rule set here that's actually being followed. You know, that is, I think, what contributes a lot to the safety.
Yeah.
And to the standards that you have.
Yes.
You know? And I feel like everyone living here, or like a lot of people coming and living here, adapt to it and actually try to uphold the standards as well.
100%.
Which is quite interesting. You
It's
know,
very nice.
you don't see that, like people that immigrate to Europe, you don't see them upholding standards or like in general, you know, I don't want to.
It makes you a better person. It pushes you from behind. Like if you see everybody else doing the right thing, I will do the right thing. You know.
Yeah. That is really cool.
In Dubai, it's all about the community. You can find any community here.
Oh my God, he's totally right. The networking here, it's like crazy. Like, bro, you can't even imagine in Romania or in Europe, any country in Europe, just going to a random stranger on the street and being like, "Hey, my name is Stefan. I want to do business with you. Tell me something."
It's impossible.
You'd be like, "The fuck this guy wants from me? He wants to steal. He wants to scam me." You know what I mean? But here it's totally different, and it's just the mentality of the people. When you go here, whether you go to restaurants, bars, cafes, billiards, places,
Everybody's
everywhere.
open.
Even on I made connections even in the elevator. You know what I mean? Like we're waiting. for the
I was
elevator.
playing golf and I was like swinging. The guy came like, "Hey, bro, can you teach me how to play?" We played.
Like,
and it was
people are
like
very
good
open.
interaction.
This is because everybody comes here for the same reason, which is to live a better life and grow
Safe
a
life.
business and make more money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And have a safe life, exactly. So they are very open. Like you will never, you know, even local people. Like if you go talk to them, they're always helpful. The authority side of things, of course, you didn't have to deal with this side because you know you had us as your partner to handle this. But I'm telling you, if you would have to go to file some documents with the authorities directly in Europe, bro, it's a totally different experience. Like they will look at you, they will pressure you, they will stress you, they will ask you to bring tens of documents, anything, just not be helpful.
Yeah.
But here when you go, because most of the locals here, they have the government positions. So when you go to the authorities and try to deal with them, they're always very helpful, very friendly. They understand, they sit with you, they help you. It's just a completely different experience.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I think you can find any nationality here, right? If you're from UK, you can find UK communities in Telegram, in Twitter,
and what's beautiful, it's a mix of cultures and religions, which is very important.
Yeah.
Everybody lives together. I mean, they respect each other. You know, Muslims have the Ramadan, one of the most sacred, holiday that they have, and the period of time, whatever. But during this period, everybody else, the tourists, they respect that. Like they don't eat in front of the people that are doing fasting. So it's just nice. I don't know. I just love Dubai. That's why I keep like pitching to everybody, every one of you guys, like Dubai. It's because I believe in it.
It's hard to tell people what you feel when you live here for a month at least. Because when you came here for a tourist trip, it's not the same when you live here for at least a month. And you see everything like flashy, like Rolexes, Rolls Royces. But when you live here, it feels different.
Chris, I want to ask you something. What would you say to a young crypto entrepreneur that is considering moving to Dubai? He's on the fence. He doesn't know if it's the right move for him. What would be your most transparent and genuine advice to him?
I think it heavily depends on your budget. I mean, the first thing before moving is always like your budget. I mean, Dubai is nice. You have to have a certain amount that you're actually willing to spend in a month to actually move here and live what I would consider properly,
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a huge amount, but I would say you have to make at least somewhere between 5 to 10K a month.
Yeah, that's US dollars.
Yes.
Yeah.
In order to sustain a good life here.
Yeah.
As an individual,
As
not
an
a family.
Yeah.
Right?
Family is
a bit different, but still, I mean, yeah.
You can multiply that.
Yes. But once you have that, it makes a lot of sense. I would definitely go for it. In this 1.5 months that I've been here, I've met more people, made more connections in the crypto space that are actually useful, that actually, I can work with and I like,
Yeah.
I've made in the last 3 years, living in Marbella.
Yeah.
I want to add something on top of it. As we are like individuals from Web3, right? We're always connecting to people via Zoom, like links different.
Yes.
But when you connect with this type of people, but in real life, it hits differently.
Yeah.
Because we always forget about real life. But here, everybody's the same town. You say oh, this guy with whom I'm communicating, he's living in Dubai. Let's have a chat.
Yeah.
It's weird,
No, it's this Dubai in general, and the community you're building and the community that's basically starting to grow here is just has such a good vibe, everyone is focused on building something, on growing, on creating something that could actually become something big.
It's like a startup environment, Dubai,
exactly.
Right?
It is a startup environment, and it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of good conditions for it here, as we said before. So yeah, definitely. If you want to if you're thinking about moving here, I would definitely go and
just pull the trigger, take the risk. At the end of the day, what can happen? The worst thing, you just move back if you don't like it. But
exactly,
I always believe that you have to take risks in life, and I also believe that you can be the most talented, genuine person, whatever you can have the best product and be the most talented guy. If you are not in the right place, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, such a
it doesn't matter.
True.
Think about it. Let's say you are the most talented in a certain area. But if you don't have access to managers, opportunities, people, network, everything else, it's worthless. You can be like a diamond in like the trash can. You know what I mean? Trash bin.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you there's this saying of being a big fish in a small pond, or a small fish in a big pond.
Yeah.
If you go to Dubai, you're definitely in a big pond.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can use a lot of the connections that you can make here
to grow
and leverage that for your own growth.
100%.
Way better than anything else. It doesn't feel, at least to me so far, it doesn't feel like it's like a competition, It's more like let's build together,
Exactly.
Let's create something together.
Yeah, it's not like Europe in general, especially like post-communist countries like Romania and others like in that area. They still have this embedded mentality like, I want my neighbor to do good, but not better than me.
Exactly.
It's all
So when-
secrets, everything inside the
Yeah.
families.
It's kind of like a sheep mentality.
Sheep mentality.
You cannot let someone actually outrank you in a way.
Exactly.
So you have to like keep them on your level.
Yeah.
So, and that just doesn't seem to exist.
No, it's not here because again, I think it's also the people that live here and come here. They're already in a higher state of consciousness.
Yeah.
It's the collective energy, which is higher vibration. Everything is just
Yeah, it's right. It's collective energy because
collective energy.
this city collects best minds from the entire planet
Yes.
here to create something
Yes.
beautiful, because this city is actually growing. It will be like up to, I don't know, I think in like 20 years, 25 million, 30 million people will live here. I don't know.
That would be crazy.
It's building so much. It's always building, always under construction, you know,
Yes.
and the community and everything is just insane.
Yeah, it's very nice to see.
But again, like, what was the last moment when you said in Europe, I can't live this life anymore? Because it's very interesting to
I
know
think you
that.
told me a story with the hospital.
Yes. Yes.
Because what is the last line? And you said like,
He has it.
So-
It's deep.
So basically we moved back to Marbella. My wife was pregnant. First of all, it was a huge hassle to get any kind of help like a maid in-house, right? You pay a shit ton, and then the service is really bad. I'm not critical. This is really bad. So that was like, okay, that's shit. Then as I said, like all the furniture, everything we moved in was delayed or was damaged or not arriving at all. So that was another thing. And then on top of that, my wife was pregnant, and she obviously had to do like pregnancy checks, right? And there's this one check at week 20 where you do like an organ screening, check if all the organs are fine and stuff. And it should be done around week 20 because afterwards everything is developed in a way.
Yeah. It's not relevant anymore. Right?
Yes. So basically 4 weeks before that, I called and I arranged that we would have this organ screening check with a hospital in Spain. And they said, okay, yes, they will call me when a few days before the appointment. Then I'm waiting, like she's the 20th week, nothing happens. Like we entered week 21. I called them and they said, oh yeah, your appointment is scheduled for 2 months from that point.
what the fuck?
So instead of like week 20, it would be like week 30 scan.
Wow.
And I said, you realize this is like a week 20 scan, right?
It's important.
And he said, yes, I do, but there's nothing I can do. And I'm like, dude, are you?
Sorry, sir, we're busy.
So, I mean, what the fuck,
So that was the last moment.
that
You
was-
said like,
For me, that was, okay.
and it is the health of your wife. Come on.
Yeah.
And you have money.
Yeah.
You have it, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
you can't spend it for health.
Yeah.
That was for me was like, what the fuck, Then through some friends, we got an appointment at another hospital. We managed to figure it out. But I don't have...
Such a hustle.
I'm building a business. It's in a critical startup phase,
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with this. I don't
course.
have the headspace for these things. So I just want appointments that I arrange to actually happen. That's what I want. And yeah, that was for me was just like, okay, now
Final straw.
we're done. Okay. So then I called Brad. I told him, hey, let's actually look for something earlier. Yeah, we arranged that really quickly. I'm very, very thankful for that.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris, for joining us. I think we can, we can talk all day, every day.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll have
absolutely.
another episode once you have some exciting updates about your company. And then, please tell our audience where they can find you, what platform, what's the username, where they can find your project if they want to look into it.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for having me. It was awesome. I mean, we time just flew by. It was crazy. But yeah, basically, if anyone wants to, catch up with us and follow us, basically go. The best way is to go to our Twitter, which is GoNeuralAI. Go there. From there on, you can find all the websites and everything, or you go to our website directly, goneural.ai. Go there, research us. You can join our community chat on Telegram or on Discord. And yeah, also would be nice to see you guys on our weekly spaces that we do always on Thursday in the evening. Yeah, I mean, and then anything else you can get from our community, our moderators always there to help you. And the team is always there as well.
Amazing. And guys, don't forget, if you are a crypto individual or company, you're looking to move to Dubai, set up legal ties here, set up a corporate structure, obtain a residency, whatever it might be, we can help you with that. At OneLink, we have hundreds of crypto individuals and entrepreneurs move to Dubai, set up companies, obtain residency, find apartments and everything else. And so we provide free consultation call. There's a link in the description of this video where you can schedule a call with one of our team members. And yeah, we're just looking forward to connect with you and hopefully see you soon in Dubai. See you.